Forefront is releasing today on PCVR and Quest, and in today's video I'm going to be talking about the differences between the PCVR and Quest version, because this is something I keep seeing online. People just don't know which version to get. I also wanted to talk about what's been added and changed since the open alpha and betas versus the new early access release, which is priced today at $20. Then I'll talk about what's to come in the future for Forefront in regards to the developer's roadmap. And if you're new to this channel or simply don't watch my content, I've been making regular Forefront gameplay videos since I first got my hands on the exclusive alpha back in July, and I came away extremely impressed, especially with the Quest version, mostly due to the performance, the online player count, which is 32, the vehicles, and the environmental destruction. After the alpha, I then got access to the beta, which I played on Quest 3 and PC, and I'll explain why I flipped between the two in a minute. But overall, Forefront has been one of my favourite VR first-person shooters of 2025, and if the developers deliver on the future improvements from this roadmap, which we're going to discuss today, it could very well end up being one of the best online first-person shooters VR has ever had. Regarding the regular comparisons to Battlefield, which clearly has much more realistic graphics, Forefront really captures that large Battlefield style hectic gameplay, but being in VR adds a level of immersion and intensity because you're on the battlefield versus looking at the battlefield on a screen. Right now the early access version has 4 maps versus the 2 we had in the beta. These are called Iceland and Paradise, which feature the Conquest mode, and Siberia and Mauritania, which are based on the Rush mode. The Conquest mode is your classic capturing and holding objectives across the map and chipping away at the enemy faction's tickets in the hopes of getting them down to 0. And Rush mode is all about destroying and defending objectives, and when both objectives are destroyed, the attackers then push the defenders back until they basically can't retreat anymore. There's 4 classes called Assault, Medic, Engineer and Recon, each with a unique loadout and leveling, which means the more points you score in each match, the more unlocks you get in the form of better gear and weapons. There is 21 weapons in total, and whatever weapons you choose will have 2 or more stages of unlocks, which you can get by actually using these guns, and these feature improvements like gun handling thanks to things like forward grips and better sights. One thing I wanted to point out is that Forefront doesn't have any bots, at least right now. Instead, when you enter the game's main lobby, you can look for whatever mode and map you want to play based on your region, and the player count is also displayed there. When it comes to graphics, Forefront has been built as a Quest first game, so the PCVR version only really offers one thing over Quest in my experience, and that's a smoother and steadier frame rate. But according to the developer roadmap, the PCVR version will be getting improvements over Quest. PCVR users will be getting improved lighting, more foliage, level of detail settings, because as of right now there is no graphical options. We'll be getting more detailed explosions, better water and better water effects, and post-processing. Now personally, I'm choosing to use the PCVR version for my gameplay capture and then playing it on Quest when I'm not making content, purely for the freedom of being wireless, because I'm one of those weirdos who will sit in my front room and play VR seated. So if you have access to both platforms, go with the PCVR version, if only for the future improvements. But that's not to say the Quest version is bad. It's actually surprisingly good, and right now both platforms are pretty much identical. As for general improvements to come for Forefront regardless of the platform, the devs are refining player controls, better gun handling, better visuals for bullet traces, reworking character animations, there's game and map balancing, audio tweaks, grenade throwing, and they are adding in-headset screen shaking if you're near an explosion. There'll also be custom key rebinding, UI upgrades, improved hit detection, better effects, and there will obviously be performance improvements. The only time I personally noticed a drop in performance was actually on PCVR when you entered a helicopter filled with other players. It may have been more of a network issue because it didn't happen all the time, and also as soon as anyone jumped out of the helicopter, sometimes performance improved. So I'm hoping this has been fixed for the early access release. When it comes to all new features the developers are adding, we can expect soldier voices, new weapon attachments, killer highlighting, a pinging system so you can see where your squad mates are on the battlefield, a new air vehicle, new land and sea vehicles, new class gadgets, a new grenade, a new conquest map, a new rush mode, and team deathmatch as a game mode. They're also adding in-app purchases at some point in the future with a new store which will feature weapon skins, and also adding bots. I really hope these can be automatically replaced in real time as players enter the game. All in all, I think the future of Forefront does look very promising, but this is mostly based on what we have right now, and what we do have right now is a fantastic game that needs to be experienced by as many VR players as possible. And if you do choose to pick up Forefront on the Quest after watching this video, you can use code GTVR at the checkout and save 10% not only on this game but every Quest game. Well, that's all I've got for you today. I look forward to seeing you all on the battlefield later online, and I'll see you all on the next one.